DC here. Hi guys and gals. Well, it is Thursday and I hope that you are all well. So I'm going over my lunch break. It's rather cool, but as you can see there's no snow. So we're maybe just barely above freezing or around freezing. From my hands I'd say it's pretty much close to freezing. Yeah, so I was sitting in my normal corner over there, and like on the other side of this hump over there, there's a I'd say a middle-aged lady, veiled lady, and she's been there for a long time. You can tell she's waiting for someone. Really strange place to wait for people, I guess. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, I can see that she's not very comfortable. She was cold. So I'm going to chat about today. Well, I read a couple articles that kind of spoke to me in a way, because they were talking about relationships with robots. Now, why would they talk to me that way? Well, not because I have relationships with robots, because I was looking not too long ago what they were talking about. We could almost say bodiless relationships, in the sense of how people use social media and become completely different to the usual perception that people have of them. So I mean, as we all know, and we've talked about this many times, like for example the whole concept of a polite civil discussion very often goes away on social media, and people become animals. Become very mean, actually. I've seen very, almost say, nice people that I know, and when I see sometimes the comments that they've written on bodiless social media, I'm like, oh my goodness, are these the same people? Are we talking about the same people? Now, about the robots. Well, there were two articles. It was in the New York Times. One was about how people mistreat robots. So it's all in this kind of context of artificial intelligence robots. Are they going to become people? You've heard of that thing, like almost like there's starting to be already now types of associations, like for the defense of robots' rights and stuff like that. Well, the article was showing that some of the things happened in the States, some I think were in Japan, violence against robots, where people would actually, if it would be security robots, which they would destroy them or jump on them or whatever. And as usual, the battery is dying. And this whole thing, we'll see how long it goes. This whole thing is that once you gave the robot an actual name, so they started saying, name them, and people were not as violent. It was like, this is not quite a thing anymore if it's called Barney, or if it's called something else. It actually became almost a person, and the violence went down. And they showed that with primary school children, so on. Then again, there was a whole thing about, especially a lot in Japan, but depending on where people fall in love with robots. And I'm not only talking about sex bots, put it that way, but where people, have their toys, put it that way. And someone actually went so far as saying is that, yeah, you could already see that with cell phones. People are falling in love with their cell phone. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, anyway, but the whole thing about relationship with robots. So there was one part of the article was saying, can you rape a sex bot? They're not consenting. Should they be treated in the same way as young children are, for example? Something like that. Well, anyway, interesting articles. And I was thinking, well, we're getting up to the point where we're kind of forgetting, that robots still are what we are, exactly that. They've been programmed Yes, we can give them artificial intelligence where they can make decisions. Do they have feelings? They've got program feelings, I guess, because like when they were attacked, they were yelling for help, supposedly. But I still think there's a line to be made there. So what is your opinion on that? And I'm going to stop there because my battery really is dying. And I'll be DC signing off. Tell me what you think about it. Robots, are they the next people? Okay, DC signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.